Hello and welcome to this virtual tour of the content management system in Nav-to-Net, tightly integrated e-commerce for Microsoft Dynamics Nav and Business Central. We're going to review the latest content management solution that's been implemented into Nav-to-Net. Nav-to-Net's CMS approach has been consistent for many years, using Nav's own page and card layout, as well as accessing lists and using add-ons to provide additional functionality that went beyond what Nav can traditionally do. The latest version, though, takes that a whole step further by implementing and taking advantage of Nav's ability to allow for custom pages, fully custom yet fully integrated pages that would allow any kind of JavaScript and any kind of additional functionality that we can imagine, and yet still act as though it's right within NAV. One of our philosophies was to improve the experience of marketing people who want to use Nav-to-Net to maintain information about products, as well as associate them with categories, variants, children, and parametrics. So let's have a quick look. Right now, I'm going to go into our Mammoth Ropes example, and I'm choosing that one only because it has several sub-products beneath it, which we'll focus on. I'm going to go to our new item CMS card, and what we'll see here is something that looks like it's straight out of Nav. It looks, it's totally integrated, and it looks like Nav. The very first thing we're going to see here is our web setup, which has the core information necessary for a product to be available on the website. As you can see here on the left, our menu list gives us access to all of the key content management requirements that this particular product, or in this case, this parent product, exposes. Of course, after our web setup, we need to manage our documents, and within Nav-to-Net, the extended description for the Mammoth Ropes is right here, and we've as always integrated and implemented our what you see is what you get HTML editor, but now you can all see that it's right within the same page as everything else that we need to be able to access from the content management perspective. It doesn't open a new window, keeps everything together, and keeps it all consistent. We can switch to draft mode, we can copy from one document to another, we can publish as a draft, we can publish the actual document so that it appears on the website, and of course we can manipulate the content of the description of the item. We can also do things like meta tags, we can do keywords, we can do various different content refs, and we can set them up as necessary for things like SEO, as well as other important content types. We also have the ability to manage our images for this product, but we've taken this a step further too. In addition to being able to select images, we've now implemented a built-in image editing tool that lets us take those images and resize them, crop them, transform them, change their color, change their contrast. We can even clone an existing image into another image. So if I only had main images and I needed thumbnail images, I could clone my main image into a thumbnail image, which will dynamically reduce its size for me, thus boosting the performance on the website. So right within NAV, we've implemented some very straightforward, very useful image manipulation tools. And that applies to all three of the image types that we need to deal with: thumbnail, main, and enlarged. And as you can see, we can put as many images as we like into CMS for this product. Files, very similar. If there were any PDF documents, help documents, things like that, we'd have access to them here. Also, item attributes is very important. Concept here is that any item can have additional information about itself. So we might have the item's color or size, or in this case, if there were latches and things like that, and we can assign those attributes at the item level, or as you can see, we can also assign them at the variant level, and we will talk about that. In this case, we're using a parent item that has children, but we can also map these attributes to children and to variants. All of the categories on the website are accessible here, and we can define exactly where we want to put this item by category. We can drill down into categories and find exactly the one that we want to, for example, add our product to. Then we can do more than one. We can add them to as many categories as we like. We can also add them to categories in different catalogs. So in this case, we've got our webshop, our wide webshop catalog, and we can also use our retail catalog. Many of our items, Nav-to-Net, designed to replicate the functionality of variants. Many customers don't use variants in Nav, so in Nav-to-Net we support both variants and something that we call child items. So we have a parent, which is the Mammoth ropes, but under that parent we can have a whole bunch of children that are other items. Here's our EX70 rope, our EX80 rope, super light rope, whatever we need here. So the children can be assigned to an item and they become part of a list of parametric items that really mimic the behavior of variants. We'll get into how to show the various values that are associated with and differentiate each child item from each other. Upsells, pretty obvious. This is a way of associating the main item, the Mammoth rope in this case, with other items that we're maintaining on our website in order to give them more attention when a user happens to come into this item or stumble upon this item. We've got different types of upsells, accessories, what's hot, related items. So all of this, here's a predictor item. All of these things are managed directly within our CMS tool. Slugs is a new mechanism for mapping pages and content to custom URLs. And it's a new feature of Nav-to-Net that really increases the level of power around the product's SEO capabilities and takes advantage of URL renaming and rewriting. We can associate the child items or variants to particular attributes, and that's done here. So for all of these children, we can attach the children to particular variant values. So for example, this particular item is against rope weight, and we can choose the different rope weights that we want to associate with. And what's really cool about this setup is that it can all be done on one page. It can all be done in one area of Nav-to-Net. We don't have to jump around. Everything is done right here. When I choose a particular child, I'll see all of the setup, the attribute setup that's been associated with that child, and that helps us in finding this item using parametric searching as well as navigating to it using Product Finder. We can associate axes to attributes. That's a slightly more advanced concept in Nav-to-Net, but it simply defines where and in what orientation information is going to be presented on the web page. You should see the item details page in the Nav-to-Net demo itself in order to see how parametrics can be presented across axes in Nav-to-Net. The most powerful thing that we've implemented in CMS that will help our customers and the marketing folks that are using this product is something that we call quick attributes, and that gives us a really easy, really fast way of setting up every item. So as you can see here, we've laid out all of the different attribute types and all of their values in one place, and we can now iterate through them all and make changes as we want very, very quickly because it's all presented in one page and it's very clearly presented. We can also copy from the attribute we're on here to the next attribute or to a previous attribute. We do this to make it even easier to reproduce attribute values that only require one change or two changes between items. It's very, very easy to populate things using CMS, and the objective here is to dramatically simplify the content management and to make it even more appealing to manage content right within Microsoft Dynamics NAV and Business Central. Everything you see here works both in the Role-Tailored client of Nav as well as working in a browser, so there's no limitation in this interface regarding access to CMS throughout your organization. We hope you're enjoying this comprehensive capabilities that Nav-to-Net integrated e-commerce platform offers. If you liked what you saw here and would like to learn more, please contact DVP at sales@dvp.net. Thanks again for participating in this presentation.